Okay. Good morning, everybody. We'll go through the introduction. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. We have Paul Wolf.
Here.
Kevin Kuster.
Aye.
Ben Normand.
Here.
And for staff, we have Holly Backus.
Good morning.
Good morning. This open meeting of the HDC Sign Advisory Committee is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comments. We're convening by video conference via the Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that the meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Please be aware that others may be able to see you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All materials that have been provided to members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. I'll introduce each speaker on the agenda, and then we will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to participate. Providing questions and comments or motions, we'll then invite the public to make further comments. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking and speak clearly to help generate accurate minutes. Each vote will be taken by a roll call. And we'll call the meeting to order at 9:03 a.m. on Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Do we have a motion to adopt our agenda?
So moved.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Ben. Kevin, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Ben?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
And let me take a moment to welcome Mark Catone as present. Mark, would you like to vote on the motion to adopt our agenda? Okay. Thumbs up. All right. We have only one person on the line. Nobody here for public comments not related to an application, I'm assuming. Anybody speak up if they would like? Okay, seeing none. Commissioner comments. Do any commissioners have any comments they'd like to make?
First, I would.
Paul?
We've asked several times for the worksheet, the spreadsheet for the violations and have not received anything. I specifically asked yesterday or over the weekend if we could get the report yesterday so we could discuss the situation today, but I have not seen it. Somehow we've got to be able to get this list on a weekly basis because violations are flying far and wide.
That's great. So Holly, if you wouldn't mind, I'm not sure if Nikki saw the email, if she's been out, but yeah, we had just asked for the updated list.
The reason why I'm here before you is she is out.
Okay.
So she would be here if she could.
And we'll get down to enforcement. I'll give you guys an update on some of the things that have been sent in when we get to that point. But thanks, Paul. That's a good point. And Holly, if you don't mind just passing that request along again, that would be helpful.
Absolutely.
Any other comments from commissioners? All right. We received the minutes from the May 6th meeting. Did anybody have any comments or questions on those?
No, move approval.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Kevin. Mark, you in favor?
Aye.
And Ben?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
And Paul?
Aye.
All right, thank you guys. We're on to the first application, and we have Ashley Santos on the line. First two applications are actually for 15 Broad Street. Ashley will make motions on each one individually, but bring us up to speed on the status of your application.
Okay, good morning. So we have gone ahead and made revisions, and I did send those to Nikki, so I hope that you guys have those here. So after our last meeting, we went ahead and made revisions to use the same exterior sign on both sides, which is more of the red quilt image since it blended with the brick better. We also brought down the opacity of the image like 30 to 40%. So it's a lot less bright and saturated. It's definitely a bit more transparent feeling. And we also cropped it a bit to leave out some of the brighter squares in the quilt. So the new banners are definitely toned down, blend in with the brick. And again, they're the same, so it's not as jarring with two separate looks on the building. Verbiage on both sides of the banners is the same, our exhibit name and the text saying featured exhibition.
Okay, thanks. Why don't we go around the table? Paul, Kevin, Ben, Mark. Paul, start us out. Any thoughts?
I think it looks good and I have no comments or questions.
Okay, thanks. Kevin,
Nothing to add.
Ben,
I think it looks great.
and Mark.
No concerns.
All right. I would concur with everything you guys have said. Would anybody like to make a motion? All right, thanks. That was Kevin, motion for approval. A second.
Second.
Thanks, Mark. Ben, are you in favor?
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and Kevin.
Aye.
All right. So that was technically for the first banner. Let's just make a motion for the second application, which is the other banner.
So moved.
Thanks, Kevin.
Second.
And thanks, Mark, Ben,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and Kevin.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Ashley. Appreciate the work. And those will be recommended for approval to the board.
Thank you. I also just wanted to say one thing before I jumped off.
Yes.
That we did start removing all of our post signs last week, just so you guys are aware. And I'm following up with Nikki with photo proof that has happened as well. So we will follow up with that.
Thank you for
Great.
that.
Thanks
Okay.
for that update.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Okay, we have 5 Chestnut Street, a projecting sign for the vaults. I think Kara was representing that. Is she on the line? No.
I don't see any else. Mr. Chair.
Okay, let's try to recall. This was a revision, correct?
Let's see. Where did it go? There it is.
So I'm going to open it up to the board. Without the comments in front of me, do you recall, actually, I can look up the minutes, but does anybody recall the conversation?
I took note to the fact that it said Nantucket on it, and then we typically don't allow Nantucket written on the sign.
Right.
I think there was also a lot of comments about other signs on the building.
Correct. They were going to remove the menu box. It's interesting. The revisions don't, where it says revision in the packet here, it doesn't really present us with anything other than an ad.
I would make a motion to hold for representation.
Second.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks, Kevin. Paul,
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Okay, Ben,
Aye.
Kevin.
Aye.
Great. Yeah. If you scroll down to the last page, there's no revision presented. So I think that was the right move. Let's go to New Whale Lane. And Holly, you said you had some information about this.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I know that the applicant isn't here, but this is on behalf of the Walter Beinecke family. As you all are, I would assume, aware of his contributions to the historic district. And some time ago, sorry, this is sideways, but there is a plaque on a granite stoop that was done in 2005 by the family. And I'll scroll through here for you. This is what it looks like currently, and this is simply a face change, same verbiage. They're going to fix it and look like this. They're going to have a celebration in October. This is also going to correlate with the 300th anniversary of the Congregational Church, as you can see actually in the bronze plaque. So this is what they're proposing, same exact size, literally just fixing it. As you can see, it's not the greatest when it was done in 2005, and this is what they're proposing.
Okay. Let's go Kevin, Ben, Mark, and Paul. Any comments?
I guess my first comment is I'm not sure where this, or if this falls under our purview or not. I am also assuming it was approved by somebody when it was put in. If all those things line up, I have no concerns about the modification.
All right, thanks,
That's all.
Ben.
I agree with Kevin.
Okay,
Nothing to add.
Mark.
Yeah, no concerns. I was actually knew Walter summer of 1990. Spent a lot of time hanging out with him. He was a great guy.
Congrats.
All right.
Exactly.
And Paul.
No problems.
Okay. I don't know how, if we would, to address Kevin, your concern. I'm assuming that it was approved back in the day. It's been there now for 20 plus years. So I'd be happy to see a motion for approval if somebody wants to make one.
I'd make a
Move
motion.
approval.
All right, Mark got it. Paul, you want a second? Second. Ben,
All right.
Kevin,
All right.
Mark,
Aye.
and Paul.
Aye.
All right. Thanks, everybody. So that completes the agenda
you.
applications. Enforcement, without Nikki here, I can say that several of you have been sending in photographs. I would say that I've probably forwarded about 10 different locations to Nikki, and they're all clearly in need of being addressed. So, continue to do that. I do forward them to Nikki at CCing Leslie. I don't get a response from either. I assume that they just go into their queue, which is why it would be nice to get the spreadsheet from them so we can see where things stand. But there's a lot of sandwich boards and a lot of things popping up that we know need to be addressed early on so they don't continue. The one thing, Holly, would be interesting if you're talking to, well, I guess you're saying Glenn wasn't really the representative, but the Old South Wharf, the first cottage, which has the sign saying Old South Wharf on it, that has started to become a billboard for every business down the wharf, putting a little plaque on it. And so that was brought up by somebody outside the board, I think, actually, but Nikki asked me about it, and I said that those were never approved. So it would be nice for NIR to address that, because it's actually, they're growing. I think each business is now piggybacking on the last person. So at this point, there's about 6 of those signs.
Mr.
So,
Chair, I can definitely reach out to an NIR rep that I work with on different applications before the HDC. I can see, just communicate with him and see where that goes.
That would be great. And they have more than just, I think a lot of the sign issues we have are NIR properties, just by
Yes.
way of them being a landlord for many people. But thanks, Kevin. You were going to say something?
Right.
Yeah, just 1 second. I'll circle back.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
I have a question. Where did we ever land with fake flowers?
With what?
Fake
With
flowers.
the fake flowers, that
Ah,
I
That
think
kind of
we
fell off.
quietly walked away from that, to be honest.
I know. they're bad.
they died.
yeah, we sent it up to the HDC, and they basically said that they weren't going to deal with it, and kind of kicked it back to us. It really never went anywhere. I think it's
That falls under don't ask, don't tell.
yeah.
I have a question.
Silent phone.
In that, I guess it's more for Holly or for Nikki. Has anybody talked with the new chief about when their folks are downtown about just having them deal with the sidewalk signs? I mean, technically that's their jurisdiction, and I know they're probably walking the streets. I don't know if that's worth a contact or not, but just an idea.
You're absolutely correct. That's in their jurisdiction, but I'm not aware of any conversation. But can definitely talk to Nikki on that.
Thanks.
Kevin, I think it's a good
Very good.
idea. Because
Yeah, it can't hurt.
the chief is new and probably is not at all familiar with what we do here.
That's a good point. Years ago, they were willing to work with us when Bill Pittman was in charge, and so that would be good.
Quick question, Chris.
Yeah, Mark.
I can't recall, and maybe we have, but did we approve a signed flag for crew? Did that ring a bell for anybody?
Not that I recall.
Yeah, there's a big flagpole and crew flag out front. Maybe I'll shoot an email through you, Chris, to Nikki, just to inquire if there was an approval in the file. It's like the first thing you see when you arrive. So it's very prominent. Maybe we did. I don't know that they have any other signage. It would be, I think, other than on the building, I believe. I'll take another look at it. And maybe I'll shoot a photo to you, Chris. You can forward on to Nikki. But I didn't recall the approval. So
Yeah, that's a good point. I'd be happy to.
Yep.
The wharfs are definitely, becoming, I don't want to say oversigned, but there's a lot of new signs
There
popping
is.
up.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thanks. We'll just keep sending the emails. I'm happy to forward them, and we'll hopefully see that spreadsheet soon so we can track the progress. And incidentally, just a follow up on the Jack and Charlie's application that went to the full board, and their decision was to not approve it at the request of the applicant, but rather send it back to us to work through possible revisions. So we may see that application back before us, but that's.
But
just
Chris, I just want to thank you for representing us. But we had, the file was really complete. They had applied for this sign before, so it was no surprises. And I think it was handled very well on everybody's part. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was just in the end when they kicked it back to us, I felt like, okay, well, we'll see what comes next, but it may return. I'm just letting you know right now.
Yeah.
So, okay. Would anybody like to make a last motion?
Don't forget to vote so all the other signs come down.
No kidding. All
A
right.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Ben,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and Kevin.
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a
everybody.
good weekend.
Weekend, it's Tuesday.
I know. I'm starting early.